People told themselves their past through stories, made sense of the present with tales, and predicted the future by weaving new ones. The best seat by the fire was always reserved for the storyteller. "What's in your bag?" "I can smell biscuits," someone said. "Imagination," came the reply. "Let me see." "Certainly not trivial things. And besides, I need those biscuits for my story." "Well then, tell your story first, and we can eat them afterward." "Is it an old tale? Ancient? Antique? Or just stale biscuits?" The story begins 1,000 miles from anywhere, after 20 long years of war. There was a soldier, a good man, with nothing but a single shilling in his pocket and 3 dry biscuits in his bag, trudging home. His regiment was the Royal Hussar. For 1,000 miles, the soldier marched, whistling a tuneless tune. By then, he was down to his last 3 biscuits. One day, he came across an old beggar. The soldier stopped and joined him in music. One couldn't fiddle, the other couldn't whistle, but together they found a melody. "Is it worth a try?" the soldier asked. "I don't have much, but you can have a biscuit," said the beggar. "You're a good man, father, thank you. Here, eat this, you deserve a better whistle." With that, the soldier took up his strange new tune, something like what rubies would sound like if they could whistle. He kept it up all the way down the road until he met another old man down on his luck. This one played knick-knack on his drum, and the soldier whistled his ruby-like tune. Together they danced a little jig, the soldier's weary boots stumbling, hopping along the road. He offered the man a second biscuit, and soon the pair were skipping happily. At last, he came upon a third old fellow, thin as a whisper, playing cards by the roadside. The soldier watched as the man shuffled and dealt the perfect hand, then gave him a hearty clap. "A splendid game, worth a finger more." "Though I have nothing to give you now," the soldier said. He had just 1 biscuit left, and was terribly hungry. He thought about it, then said, "I have a biscuit. You can share it with me." He broke the last dry biscuit in 2, but it didn't feel right to give less than the others. So, he gave both halves. "You're a good man and deserve more luck than just your last biscuit. Take my sack, it's ugly, but it's magical. Ask for a bird, a beast, or anything you wish, and it will appear in a flash." With that, the soldier went off, skipping and whistling with a light heart and an empty sack. He walked through a warm night and a bright day until he came to a river. "Hop in my sack," he said. "That's a nice whistle, I got it from a poor soul." He trembled and seethed and trembled, but the soul had no time to waste on devils. He was the talk of the town, the shining star of the zoo. Yet no matter how kindly life smiles upon us, the final jest always belongs to death. Yes, everything seemed perfect for our friend, the good soldier. With his magic sack, rewarded by the Tsar himself, he was now a wealthy gentleman, a husband and a father. He lived in a castle, blessed and favored, with nothing to complain about. Until one day, for fate is cruel and fortune fickle, his son was struck by a terrible fever. The boy's condition worsened, and they called in quacks, apothecaries, and healers. Soon the boy's chamber was filled with grey-bearded men, shaking their heads in despair. Yet the fever raged on relentlessly. When the boy finally slipped into a swoon, the healers were replaced by priests murmuring prayers, and a man dressed in black arrived to measure a coffin. "Oh, what are we to do?" the soldier cried. "My lips are raw from praying, my knees worn thin from kneeling, and I've lost my whistle from all this worry. It's the devil's work, I say, the very devil." "Now, where might that devil of mine be?" a voice asked. I'm here, Your Excellency. Where have you appeared from? Not so much appeared as stomped in, sir. You have my foot, the soldier said. Cure my son and you can have it back. This is my good wife, by the way. And this, my devil. How do you do? How do you do? I heard your son was ill. Let me take a look. Look here, Your Excellency. I see a small creature, that's Death himself. Death, Excellency. Where is he standing? At my son's feet. Ah, good. He will recover. But when death comes to the head, then you must worry. The man in black handed over a glass of water. Sprinkle some of this on your child. You're a marvel. We do our best. Now, may I have my foot back? Most certainly. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Will there be anything else, sir? Give me that glass, and I'll free you from your promise. Really? Oh, thank you. Such lovely black flowers. And so, the soldier began a new career as a miracle man. Traveling the world on a camel with his magic glass, he would show it to the sick. If death sat at the foot of the bed, he'd sprinkle some water and the patient would sit up, showered in blessings. But if death lingered at the head, the soldier would solemnly shake his head and leave. The relatives would mutter, "What a pity, he came too late," and pay him anyway. Often, the soldier left praised and admired by those he had healed. Life went well, until one day, far from everywhere, he received word from home. The old Tsar had fallen ill and sent for him. I have come too late, he thought. Beggars and thieves, cats and dogs, yet I cannot save my master. If death needs a new friend, I cannot fight him. Then let me go in his place, he begged. No liar has been my friend and father. If anyone should go, it should be me. Sir, take me and spare the Tsar, I beg you. Praise me. O husband, is this the end of it all? Do you know what this is? A sack. Well, if this is a sack, then get in. I've caught death in my sack. Why, this is death. Yes, caught and trapped. What about good death? A prisoner. The news spread like wildfire, whispered from one of the Tsar's 50 wives to another, racing through the town faster than gossip itself, and nothing spreads faster than gossip. Within 4.5 minutes, the entire town knew. 17 minutes later, the whole country was abuzz. By the next morning, the story was told in 1,000 languages. Death was a prisoner. The soldier, wanting to be cautious, set off with death in his sack. He found the thickest forest and the tallest tree, climbed it, and hung death from the longest branch, only to promptly fall off. But there's nothing like death's duty to soften a fall, so nothing was harmed. Strangest of all were the battles. Wars raged in many places, but no one died. After a day of carnage, flashing swords, explosions, arrows flying, axes swinging, the armies would stare at each other, exhausted but unscathed. Duels at dawn went on until midnight. Rival soldiers went home confused. Star-crossed lovers would throw themselves off cliffs, only to climb back up again. Our friend, the soldier, became the most famous man in the world, because suddenly, everyone could live forever. He sat in his palace, whistling his ruby whistle. One day, looking down from his window, he saw his courtyard filled with poor souls, old, ragged folk barely held together. They were waiting for death's release. But death would not come. Unable to bear their suffering, the soldier returned to the forest. Death, I've led you a merry dance, but now you must take me and set the world right. Come back. But death feared the soldier and his sack, and refused to return. Condemned to watch others grow old and die, the soldier, old Kipper D. Beef, lived on and on until he could bear it no longer. He dragged his weary body to the edge of the earth, and slowly descended into hell. A sinful soul arrives to surrender his life. What do you carry? Nothing, just an old sack. Let me in, I beg you. Go away. Take that horrible sack with you. But where can I go? We don't care. Just dig your own pit. I won't enter unless you give me a map to heaven, a way in, and 200 souls you no longer need. Do you know what this is? Don't wave that sack around. All right, 200 souls. Follow the map until you can go no further. Then go straight up until you feel like you're standing on your head, that's the edge of heaven. After that, follow the church music. Who approaches the gates of heaven? I am the soldier who captured death. Prisoner, I have brought 200 souls from hell, hoping God will forgive me and allow me entrance along with them. The souls may enter, but you alone must go. Be blessed, friend. Take this, and once inside, call me back into the sack. Remember, I delivered you from the furnace. But there is no memory in heaven. Souls forget. The soldier waited and waited, just a breath away from paradise. After a long time, forgotten, he turned and slowly walked back to earth. And for all I know, he still wanders, sorrowful and alone. Oh, he's a rare one, that soldier my friend said. He's somewhere about, minding his own business. Are you sure? Come on, you can have your biscuit. Do you know what this is? A sack. Well, if it is, then get in. Just checking. When people told themselves stories, to understand their past, to explain their present, to foresee their future, the best place by the fire was always kept for the storyteller. Trolls rank at the very bottom of anyone's list of friends. They're disgusting creatures, even hating each other. The troll in this story had a daughter, who left home immediately. In her place, the troll took in an orphan, a young girl to serve him hand and foot. But this girl was meant for more than just serving a troll. No, she had a destiny. Anna had no parents, and the troll was the only family she knew. She obeyed him, cruel though he was. But there was one thing the troll could not stand: obedience. Of course, trolls are always contradicting themselves. The troll liked to contradict himself by wielding a heavy stick. It made a horrid sound flying through the air and landing hard on the poor girl's back, leaving bruises black and blue. Inside this sack are 20 pounds of feathers. Strip them and pack them before I return. And remember, I'm allergic to feathers. A single one sets my nose off. Anna trembled, quivering, shaking, but she dared not refuse. It's impossible to do it alone. It's not fair. She plucked and cleaned and packed, again and again. Still, the feathers filled the room and spilled out of the sack. Don't be afraid, Anna. I'm here to help. Where have you come from? From your thoughts. Is there no one else in the wide world to pity me? You thought. Well, there is. Here I am. You're tired. Sleep. I cannot, the troll is my father and mother. Well, since you have no other, you must obey him. Trust me. Sleep. Persuaded, Anna lay down and soon fell into a deep slumber. When she awoke, what a sight! What a wonder! Thank you, thank you. Yes, sir. You've done it. Have you finished them all? Yes, sir. Good. Was that a smile I saw? No, sir. I don't like smiles. Get to bed without supper. Arise and wake, I have another task for you. Observe this pond, deep, you'd say, and you'd be sure the pond is deep enough, drain it with your spoon. And if I come back and find even a single drop of water, if I so much as get my foot wet, heaven help me. Oh, lion, my spoon is full of holes. You're tired, my dear. Lie down and rest a while. No, I dare not, for my lord the troll will beat me with his terrible stick. Lie down. The lion padded softly to the pond, drinking deeply and long. Long before sunset, the pond was completely dry. Well, is the pond dry now? Yes, yes, it is. How wonderfully frustrating. Are you sure? You may laugh, but the troll's punishments cost the poor girl dearly. That night, Anna could not sleep, her back ached from the bruises left by the troll's cruel stick. She sobbed through the night, black and blue marks burning her skin. The next morning, the wicked troll gave her a new task, worse than before. All dry, you think? All finished? You're wrong. Now build me a palace, all the parts, every piece, by nightfall. Hours passed. Anna had moved only one rock a few inches. Oh dear lion, even you can't help me now. You're tired, my little one. Why not rest? I can't. I dare not sleep. But rest she did, lying down beside the lion. And as she dreamed, magic unfolded. How did you do this? I know I didn't do as you asked. Beautiful. Oh dear, the palace is here. But Anna did not build it. There is a contradiction, and where there is contradiction, we must speak to our friend, don't you think? I don't know. Probably. Very probably. Certainly, in fact. Look, outrageous. Absolutely outrageous. A whole palace in one day. This is more like it, for an important troll. Good, chicken good, yes sir. And what about cherry? Is there celery for wine? Go and be seeing. Try that door. I can't reach it. Let me, atr. The troll can seem perfectly clarified. Oh lion, quick. Quick. The troll's in terrible trouble. I know. Poor troll, no father, no mother, and he was my other. Not poor, my little one, but wicked and cruel. I made the palace. I also made the door. Good. I hated that troll. He was bad through and through. Oh yes. So then, what happened? Anna had a palace all to herself. What a transformation! For the first time in her miserable life, Anna felt wonderful, truly wonderful. Word spread of the lovely girl alone in her grand palace, and suitors came flocking in droves, Prince Larav here, Prince Larav there, though some were a bit too flashy, others a little too dull, and some just plain foolish. A year went by. One morning, Anna stood sighing at her window when she noticed someone outside. He looked up, she looked down. He smiled. She smiled. Little fish seemed to swim up and down her back. Suddenly, she wanted flowers in her room, flowers at her table, flowers in her hair. Slowly, smiles turned to words, words to whispers, and whispers to kisses. It was love. She fell for the gardener. Why not? She was a servant turned princess, why not a gardener turned prince? You were my true bride. Am I, then? Let no one else ever come between us. Kiss your cheek. Never, never, ever. Never. Yes, never ever. But Anna's heart aches, hurt and sorrow simmer beneath the surface. Why? What happens? Does the troll come back? Oh no, well, yes, in a manner of speaking, yes, he does. Anna's wedding day is approaching. Her beloved sets off early, beginning the long journey to the village. He has appointments with the tailor, the barber, and the shoemaker, to spruce himself up for the big day. Won't you come with me? He asks. No, she replies, you must go alone. But I'll count every minute until you come home. She counts the minutes, hours, and then days, fear curling in her stomach, tears beginning to fall. Where is he? No one knows. Anna can't bear the waiting any longer and sets off alone in search of her sweetheart. One snowy day, lost and exhausted, Anna wanders until suddenly, without a word, the lion appears. He lifts her onto his back and bounds through the snow with impossible speed, over cliffs, caverns, chasms, and canyons, helter-skelter to a far-off land. At last, near a town, the lion sets her down. Now you must go inside. Take these gifts, and use them wisely. Oh, thank you, dearest lion. Anna walks on, clutching the 3 gifts tightly. My beloved, my darling, she cries. But the man who greets her tips his hat politely and continues on his way. Wait. Please wait, she pleads. No, he says. She can't believe her eyes. It can't be, the troll, surely not. He's supposed to be dead. But then she notices, a pigtail, a diamond earring, a hint of silk at the throat. It's not the troll himself, but his daughter, twice as ugly and twice as foul, and she's riding off with Anna's beloved. Anna is dumbfounded. How could this be? What's happened to her darling? She's searched the world for him, but he's forgotten her. He's gone off with a trollop. But her resolve hardens. I am the true bride, and he is my beloved. Determined, Anna sets off again. On her way to town, she meets a man who tells her the truth. The troll's daughter visited her father's castle, but he disappeared mysteriously. Then she met a handsome prince, brought him to her home, and now he's under her spell. They're betrothed. That trollop is greedy. She steals gold, silver, and collects handsome men like ornaments, her ornament men she calls them. Armed with this knowledge, Anna hurries to the town with a plan forming in her mind. Such lovely prettiness, she says, showing off a gift. I need this, madam, the seller replies. It's a costly item. I'm expecting it as a gift for your queen. How kind of you, thank you. It's magic, your majesty. It cannot be sold, only exchanged. Exchanged for what? A night with your betrothed, or rather, my new ornament. Rageous. Well then, you must keep what is yours, and I'll keep what's mine. Good day, your highness. No. Back. A night with my ornament and his sweetheart. You know how generous I've been for such a small magic. Yes, all right, yes, the bargain is struck. The true bride will spend a night alone with her beloved. She thinks, once alone, he'll recognize me, my love, my dearest, it's me, your true bride. But he won't wake. Please, wake up. Wake. How could he? By his bedside, a cup holds a sleeping herb, powerful, lasting all night until morning. What can Anna do? The bargain is kept. The first gift wasted. What else can she do but try again? Magically, coin after coin drops to the ground. The trollop can't believe it. Oh, I can't believe it. Quick, quick! The trollop wants the deal struck once more, another night with the beloved, swapped for endless gold coins. That night, the same story repeats. Darling whispers from the true bride, but all to no avail. As for the prince himself, his days grow vague, lost in a haze. His nights were dreamless, and no thoughts stirred him awake. What could he be thinking? Oh, well, the trollop had rubbed away his past with her wicked spell. He hadn't heard his true love singing through the night or weeping at dawn. But the prisoners, oh, they had their eyes blinking in the dark and ears sharp as ever. They'd heard the clink of gold, but also the true bride's lament. So, the next day, when the prince was walking the ramparts, they called out to him. "Your honor, how can you sleep at night with the beauties singing by your bed? Beloved, she calls you. Dear, your true bride cries, I am your true bride. When do you hear these things? All night, all night." He insists he's heard nothing. Who is your true bride? He's very confused, you see. And because he drank so deeply, he slept every night like the dead. Oh, oi oi! I'm so impatient for a new toy. Let me see, let me see. The deal was struck again. That night Anna arrived for her vigil. The final gift was gone. Will you never wake? Don't cry. What? Oh, my darling, no, not there. You promised me. And with that, she kissed him, on his cheek, just as she'd promised. The trollop's spell fell away. His head cleared. Such a tender kiss, such sweetness upon his cheek. My true bride, he whispered. My true bride. At that very moment, deep in the castle vaults, something strange happened, very odd. Come back, my goldies, my silks, my dee. But too late, they'd slipped away. The lovers fled, running home together. After them. Get them back. Hurry. In her rage, the trollop chased them, nearer and nearer, but then, she couldn't believe it. Look! Who's here? On his back they climbed. And off they sped, pounding across the barren lands, huge strides, impossible speed, over cliff and cavern, chasm and canyon, helter-skelter. They made it. Yes. They made it. Thank you, lion. Inside, they locked the door, caught their breath, lit a fire, and exchanged their stories. Between hugs and wild kisses, the lion tossed back his proud mane and padded away, leaving the lovers safe. But not before one final task unseen. Ah, but who have we forgotten? The trollop, where is she? I don't know. Miles away, over cliff and cavern, crevice and chasm. By the time the true bride and her beloved settled down to sleep, she had arrived at the palace. Once inside, she sniffed for them, her nostrils twitching and heaving, planning her revenge. Her nose led her to their hiding place, and stealing closer, she heard their voices clear and unsuspecting behind the door. From that day on, our lovers lived peacefully. Babies came to bless their home, and the sun was forever strong. They kept a statue of the lion, whom they called the Thor Lion. And they told their children he could come alive in an instant if ever they needed him. But the children found that hard to believe. When people told themselves their past with stories, explained their present with stories, and foretold the future with stories, the best place by the fire was kept for the storyteller. Beginning, as I do, at the beginning, and starting as I must at the start, let me show you fate through the round of this ring. The girl who finger fits this ring will become queen. The Lord decrees it. What a lucky girl, you might think. Oh, no, I say. A king had 3 daughters, 2 were bad, 1 was good. Long without a wife, the king's only joy had been the pride of fatherhood. But the girls were growing up, and soon there would be suitors. Soon, the palace would be empty. I must find myself a wife to comfort me, the king declared. The wedding ring, passed down from queen to queen, finger to finger, since anyone could remember, only when the ring fits can the king marry. See who wishes to win. Our king must come forward and try the ring. The lucky bride will want for nothing. Can't do that, he's too old to be getting married, someone muttered. He ought to be dying shortly. I don't think he's too old. What's she whispering about? I know what will happen, some harpy will step forward, the ring will fit, they'll marry, and then he'll die, and she'll have everything. That's what'll happen. The sisters sulked at the prospect of a stepmother. The more they were to sap sorrow their sister, the more they teased, taunted, and tormented her. They starved her, mocked her. You're too fat, they'd say, stealing from her plate. They were vile, those sisters indeed. But they reckoned without her friends, the creatures who lived in saps, in her pockets, under the bed, perched on her chair. When she went to her room, she'd find berries and all kinds of nuts and fruits, delicious treats left for her. Music swells with applause. Things I miss, we cry every night, are our eyes bloodshot? They are, I know. No bride then, they said. No, the ring was a cruel shape, none could wear it. Oh, it's fate. It's not intended. Perhaps. I don't know. You don't need a wife when you've got us. Don't we love you enough, Daddy? I know, I know. Where's your sister? Well, who knows? Flirting with the gods, stuffing herself. No, next is B to try to fit the ring. Someone eventually, how disgusting. I mean, we should be queens, actually, together. I know. I mean, what if the ring were to fit you or me? Then. That's enough. Too late, too late. Can't you control these women? Get them out of here. Well, you wouldn't want to marry us. But then, you couldn't marry anybody, which is even better. Come on. Oh, look, it's hopeless. What do you mean? Try. You got fat fingers. I have not. Ow, I'm stuck. Ow, it's completely stuck. Ow. Ow. We must do something. Look, all the blood's getting stuck. Can I help? Help me. No. Go away. Go on. She's better than you at these things. Hello. Is everybody all right? What was all that human crying? Human crying, Daddy, the cry is coming from this room. I heard them pick it up. And then, little Sapero did a thing she would long regret. Obediently, she bent, and, oh, folly. She stooped, and, oh, rash, she picked up the royal ring and slipped it on for safekeeping. What? I know. Where's your mother's ring? Well, she was playing with it, Father. Yes, we didn't want to sneak. I wasn't. She wasn't. Stay out of it, you little one. I wasn't. That's not fair. What's that on your finger? Oh no, not on your ring finger. It fits. It fits. No sooner said than done. The news, a fire in the palace was sweeping the corridors. The ring fits the king's daughter. I cannot marry my father. But you cannot ignore the law. We cannot ignore the law. You cannot marry your father. But I cannot shame the king. But you cannot marry your father. But the ring is the ring. So it is the law of the land. The ring fits your child's finger, you must marry her. Then I shall cut off my finger. Why did you play with the ring? Why did you tamper with it? The ceremony, when must it take place? As soon as the preparations allow. Then first, find me a dress of the palest silk, the color of the moon. I will not wed till I have it. Very well, we will find this dress. The princess, in her woe, plans a plan. She schemes a scheme to find such a gown. It will take time, and meantime, you must all help me. Music swells. Beautiful, but now I must have one. Of sparkling silver, like the stars. For my trousseau. Where would we find such a dress? Do as she bids. All in silver, sparkling like the stars. And off again went the king's men, scouring the land for such a dress. Meanwhile, in Sapsoro's room, another garment was being made. More marvelous, more magical. Music rises. Beautiful, beautiful, just like the stars. The council waits on you. Your people grow impatient. When do you marry, daughter? This gown is for the wedding feast. The first one, for the procession. But now I must have one for the church. Gold it should be, gold as the sun. Bring me such a dress. And the next day, we shall wear gold, she said. All gold, like the sun. Bring her such a dress. They shall be married on the morrow. Gold. While the tailor cut cloth spun with pure gold. Sapsoro stayed shut up in her room. She never appeared. Only her creatures, flying in, slithering out. Busy, busy, scrying about the princess. Yes, I have here a dress such as none before has seen. Of gold, dazzling and hand-sewn. It is what I asked for, very like the sun. Then we must marry on the morrow. We must marry on the morrow. They can't. They can't get married. Well, the law says they must. And the girl had the 3 gowns she asked for. No, the ring fit. The feast was prepared. Married on the morrow. Listen, bells toll, the streets fill. Only Sapsoro stays silent in her room. Your Highness, come out, the king awaits you. Yes, it's Sapsoro. A strange thing of fur and feathers. For such had been the secret work of the past weeks. This creature, there she is. The ill-fated princess. Hurrying away her past discarded. Her future, who knows? 2 years later. A poor, poor creature of fur and feathers. Tended geese in the king's garden. And scrubbed pots in his kitchen. So that's the princess. Princess of slops, yes. Princess of peelings, perhaps. Princess of the kitchen floor, certainly. And one day, this princess meets a prince. Where's the cook? Do you know? You don't know. Can you speak? Never mind, give the cook a message, will you? Tonight there's a great ball at the palace. I've seen the menu and want goose added. He knows how I like it, roast goose with orange baked in pastry. What's that look? It's a look. If there was a look on looking, we'd all be beggars. What's your name? No name, they call me the Straggle-Tag. Well, Miss Straggle-Tag, you don't stare at princes, it's not polite. In one so low, one so ugly, why eat geese? They don't harm you. I happen to like geese. So do I. That's why I don't eat them. Pass on my message, and take that to your manners. Roast goose with orange, a dozen. That night, they sat the geese. 12 cold stares on the royal table, while around them many, many danced. Many daughters wore their mother's pearls. And the prince was there. Handsome, admired, separate. Parents looked on and hoped. But the prince stood and smiled. He did not dance. Until late, unannounced, mysterious. A woman enters in a dazzling gown. Pale silk like the moon. And what could he do, the prince, but walk towards her? What could he do but leave her to the floor? And they danced. Left to right. Morning to night. Dark to light. They belonged. But when the music stopped. Wait. I don't know your name. Oh my dears. The prince was left mystified, excited, tingling. Hook, line, and sinker. The prince was sent down for clean towels. Where is everybody? Upstairs, they're all busy. Another ball. So soon? We've barely recovered from the last one. Oh, then you sent down for towels. I hope they're clean. I'm sorry, do I disgust you? You amaze me. Look, cats chase mice, hens lay eggs. And what does that mean? It means some things have to do with other things. I have nothing to do with you. You don't disgust me. Because I don't think about you. I see now, go away. And keep below stairs. Stop gaping. No, we can't see for the feathers. This prince. He can't see for the fur. That night, the second ball. Beauties come and beauties go. Dances are danced. But the prince stands alone. Hoping, staring at the great doors. But nothing. No sign. Then. A parting of the crowd. And there she is. In a dress sparkling with silver. Like the stars. I must go. Don't, please. I think of nothing but you. I find that hard to believe. It's true, I can't sleep. Where do you live? I might find you. I live where hens catch mice. And cats lay eggs. What? Please don't go. What's the matter? You look so sad. No one else in the whole palace. In the whole kingdom. Speaks to me like this. Are you in love? Is that the problem? You couldn't possibly understand what I'm feeling. Or are you worried? You might only love your sweetheart for her beautiful gowns. Was she in the humblest rags? Was she the poorest? Absolutely. You see, my darling has eyes like. Yes, they're perfect. A voice like. It's perfect. It's not her gowns. Well, how can you possibly understand? Then you should marry her. I want to. But I can't find her. I see. I have a problem like yours. What advice would you give me? Well, I don't know your beau. What's he like? Handsome, rich, really proud. Ah, you see, when I think about him, it makes my head hurt. My tummy ache. My skin tingle. And my heart do little somersaults. Me too. Me too. Oh yes, we're in love. And it's terrible. Oh, I don't think I'm in love. Oh, you're definitely in love. Little somersaults, tingling skin. Definitely. Straggle tag, straggle tag. Where the devil have you got to go? Yes, and listen. Don't tell anyone we've spoken. As you wish. It's just, you know. Prince and straggle tag. Prince and Straggle-Tag. Oh yes, the prince is loving all right. Even before it's dark. He's there on the terrace. In front of the ballroom. Tonight he shivers. I'll see my love tonight. She still hasn't come. And this is the last of them. Could I please have the dishes? Oh, look at this one. What's the hurry? Meeting a sweetheart, that's why the prince is still waiting. She hasn't finished the dishes yet. Music swells. It's wonderful. But bells toll. Evening's end. The next day, a proclamation rings out around the palace. The prince will marry the girl who fits the golden slipper. She thinks. What was true of the finger is true of the foot. She was cursed by the ring. Can she be blessed with the slipper? There's a queue now. But it fits nobody. I might try. You never know. You've got feet like a yo pudding. I have not. What about our little beauty? Are you going to try? I might. So up she goes. And blow me, who's trying on the royal slipper? I think if I just. I've done it. I've done it. It fits. That's absurd. You're not the one. I am, it fits. Look, I claim this handsome prince. For my husband. According to the proclamation. The prince must marry the woman. Who can wear the golden slipper? Princess Bad Sister. Princess Bad Sister. From far away. From far away. Daughter of nobody. We have no parents, you see. Mommy died long ago. And Daddy died last year. When he was ancient. Princess Bad Sister. A faraway daughter of nobody. Will marry the prince on the morrow. Hooray! Now, can I just take the silly shoe off, please? Why? Well, it doesn't match. And it's the titsy-weety bit tight. Just a pinch. Ouchie. Why, in fact. I think I may just have to have a tiny baby scream. Sister, do you think you could possibly help me? To take this lovely slipper off my footsie-wise? Because I'm going to have to scream very loudly shortly. I think my leg is turning a little bit maroon. It is. Applause. Get this shoe off my foot, sire. I claim my right to try the slipper. Ladies, darling, I think not. Creatures, what do you think? Get it out of it, get rid of it. She's called Straggle-Tag. So may I. Very well. It fits. It can't. It does fit. Will you keep your promise? Oh, don't be ridiculous. You can't. You got to marry that thing. Yes, I'll marry you. I'll keep my promise. Music and applause. My princess, it's you, darling, darling. They repeated to each other. Dearest, dearest. And what the prince didn't know. He very soon did. They talked and talked. Explaining this and that. Stories of rings. Stories of fur and feathers. And they wept for her dear father. Smiled for poor Straggle-Tag. Forgave the bad sisters. Danced for a day without going away. And well, after that. They were so out of breath. They lay down and slept. Glory be. If I don't wake them soon. They'll never get wed. Music fades. When people told themselves their past with stories. Explained their present with stories. Foretold the future with stories. The best place by the fire. Was kept for the storyteller. One day in November. The The queen died. Outside the palace, the leaves fell, lamenting reds and golds. The leaves fell, drifting softly, weeping for the queen. The king, his 3 sons, his daughter, and the people filed slowly by, each shedding tears for the dear queen. But among the mourners, there was one whose eyes were dry. Music rises. One whose heart was ice, whose soul was cold, whose smile was sly, and whose mind raced ahead to the day the king would seek to ease his loneliness. The witch. She fixed her dry eyes on the king, plotting, scheming. Mine, she schemed, mine, all mine. And you may well weep. But her plan was simple and terrible. She craved power, majesty over all things, the cold golden ring of a crown around her head. Her desire gnawed away her heart and soul. So she set to work on the king. The king wouldn't marry a witch. No, he didn't even see the witch. He didn't feel the sun on his face, or the rain. Just this relentless tug of the past. Memories pulling at his sleeve all day and night. His poor heart was broken. But the witch. She could charm the skin off a snake. And she poured all her power into him. She wound him in, inch by inch. The past tugging him one way, her patient charm pulling him the other. Because when he looked at her, he thought he saw his wife's face. And indeed he did. "You're back," he whispered. She smiled, "Our little secret." That was witchery. A spell, and it worked. "I have something wonderful to tell you," she said. "I've met someone very special. Children, we're going to be married. We're going to be happy again. I hope you'll think of me as your friend. And then, in time, perhaps as your mother." "Our mother's dead," the children whispered. "I think I mean a new mother, don't I?" "Yes, in time." "Well, try for me, will you?" All hugs, all smiles, all family. But the witch watched and cursed them. They were her rivals, her enemies. These 4 grieving, bewildered children. A canker grew inside her mind. For she would not share. She wanted it all. She sowed a seed of fear in the children's lives. Stairs gave way. Horses bucked wildly. Balconies crumbled. Even the toy box turned terrible. The witch herself was always honey, always honey. But sometimes the king caught a look. And he worried. She was also the bee. And bees sting. "I hate that witch," he muttered. Poor man, torn in half. Enchanted by his new queen. Frightened for his children. What could he do? "I said I'd take you on a special holiday," he promised. "We're almost there. A forest. A magic forest. Follow the thread. Follow the thread." Applause and music swell. "Red, hurry up. It's perfect. There's a stream and a house, beautiful." And sure enough, there it was, pink and perfect. The boys led and laughed as if a great weight had lifted from them. Their sister sat by the stream, dipping her toes, missing her mother, as she always did when she was happy. "This is your secret place. No one can find you here without the thread. I'll visit you each day. You've brought us here because of her, haven't you? Our stepmother." No, of course not. But his daughter was. The leaves fell in mournful reds and golds, drifting softly like tears for the queen. The king, his 3 sons, his daughter, and the people filed slowly past her bier, each shedding their own grief. Yet among the mourners, one stood apart, her eyes dry, her heart as cold as ice, her smile sharp and sly. Her mind raced ahead to the day the king would seek to soothe his loneliness. The witch. She fixed those dry, unblinking eyes upon the king, scheming, "Mine," she whispered in the dark. "All mine." You might weep for the queen, but this witch's plan was simple and terrible. She craved power, majesty over all, the cold golden ring of the crown upon her head. That hunger ate away at her heart and soul, and so she set to work. The king wouldn't marry a witch, he didn't even see the witch. He felt no sun on his face, no rain on his skin, only the relentless tug of memories, pulling at his sleeve night and day. His poor broken heart, aching and raw. But the witch, oh, the witch could charm the skin off a snake. She poured all her dark magic into him, weaving her spell, inch by inch. The past tugging one way, her patient hands pulling the other. For when he looked at her, he thought he saw his wife's face. And indeed, he did. "You're back," he whispered. "Our little secret," she smiled. That was witchery, and it worked. "I have wonderful news," she said softly. "I've met someone very special. Children, we're to be married. We'll be happy again. I hope you'll think of me as your friend, and then, in time, perhaps as your mother." "Our mother's dead," whispered the children. "I mean a new mother," she said. "Yes, in time," they replied. "Well, try for me, won't you?" And so came the hugs, the smiles. A family. But the witch watched and cursed. These 4 grieving, bewildered children were her rivals, her enemies. A bitter canker grew in her mind. She would not share, she wanted it all. And so she sowed seeds of fear. Stairs gave way beneath their feet. Horses bucked wildly. Balconies crumbled. Even the toy box turned terrible. The witch herself was honey, sweetness and poison both. But sometimes, the king caught a look. And he worried. She was also the bee. And bees sting. "I hate that witch," he muttered, torn between enchantment and dread. What could he do? "I said I'd take you on a special holiday," he promised his children. "We're almost there. A forest. A magic forest. Follow the thread. Follow the thread. Red, hurry. It's perfect. A stream and a house, beautiful." And there it was, pink and perfect. The boys led and laughed as if a great weight had lifted. Their sister sat by the stream, dipping her toes. Missing her mother, as she always did when she was happy. "This is your secret place," he told them. "No one can find you here without the thread. I'll visit every day. You brought us here because of her, haven't you? Our stepmother." No, of course not. But his daughter was not so sure. Right, quite right, for even as she spoke, the witch, her stepmother, sat high in her tower, poring over grim and terrible spells. The children were obstacles between her and the power she craved, growing daily, like dark clouds thickening across her sky. And now, she would discover where those clouds gathered, and puff them clean away. "Where have you been?" she asked, feigning sweetness. "I took the children on a trip. A holiday." "Oh. Anyone nice?" "Very nice." "What's that you're sewing?" "My little shirts." "Little shirts? Aren't they sweet?" "That's nice, your love shows. You're being very mysterious." "Am I?" "What about the children?" "Our children. You want me to be their mother, but what mother could bear not knowing where her children are? I just want them to have a secret holiday, it makes it special. Secret, yes. Of course. But what if something happens to them? Then where would we be? What if something happens to you? Let that be the end of it, if you won't talk. That's your right. They are your children. I'm just the stepmother. But the witch had no intention of letting it end there. The very next day, the king rode off. She followed him stealthily, like a bat in the night, watching him unroll the magic thread. With sly hands, she stole it for herself. Soon, she watched it wind its secret path toward the children. The shirts she carried in her hands, and a chill curse she knew by heart. Have you caught these fish yourselves? She asked, her voice honeyed but cruel. How clever! How did you find us here? Where's our father? He's just coming. Look, I've brought you presents, aren't they nice? She laid each shirt gently by hand. Thank you, the children said. Put them on, then your father can see you. But how can he see us when this thread won't work? When this ball won't roll? Where's your sister? I miss her. She should be here. Come along, then. Here is your shirt. All the while, the king stumbled, lost and desperate in the forest, crying out. Children! The shirt will hurt. The wings will sting. The beak will scratch. The eyes will cry. The shirt will hurt. The wings will sting. The beak will scratch. The eyes will cry. The shirt will hurt. The wings will sting. The beak will scratch. The eyes will cry. And the princess ran for help, ran for her life. My daughter. Daughter. F. Husband. Husband. What have you done to me? I've done nothing. What are you doing here? This is my secret place. Where are my children? Are the children here? I can't look at you. Please, do. Please look at me. I heard my daughter cry out to me. I think you must be unwell. Are you sick? Sick for something? Let me see. Let me soothe you. No. No. Get away from me. Why, yes, you're upset. I'll have to think about what we can do, with you, and for you. For a day and a night, the princess ran, stumbled, and fled. Until she dropped. Until she dropped, exhausted, trembling, and at the edge of despair. But even as darkness gathered around her, a small, strange light flickered ahead, like a glimmer of hope. Summoning what little strength she had left, the princess rose and followed the faint glow through the tangled forest. The light led her to a quiet clearing, where an ancient tree stood tall, its branches stretching wide like protective arms. Beneath the tree, a figure waited, a kindly old woman with eyes full of knowing and a smile that warmed the cold night. You've come far, child, the woman said softly, and yet your journey has only just begun. The princess, breathless and weary, fell to her knees. Please, she whispered, help me find my children, help me save my family from the witch's curse. The old woman nodded slowly, reaching into her cloak to pull out a delicate, silver thread shimmering like starlight. This thread, she said, is woven with ancient magic, stronger than any curse. Follow it, and it will guide you to your children. With trembling hands, the princess took the thread, her heart lifting for the first time in many long days. Thank you, she said, tears shining like morning dew. Go now, and may the stars watch over you. With that, the old woman vanished into the shadows, leaving the princess alone, yet no longer lost. She clutched the silver thread tightly and stepped forward, ready to face whatever darkness lay ahead. For love and hope were stronger than any spell, and she would not rest until her family was whole again. Was honey-sweet and the days passed in gentle peace, but shadows stirred beneath the palace walls. The witch, burning with fury and jealousy, wove dark magic through the castle, whispering curses that crept like cold wind through the halls. Though the princess could not speak, her silent courage was a sword sharper than any words. She stood firm beside her prince, her eyes fierce with love and defiance. The battle between light and dark waged quietly, invisible to the eyes of most, but felt deep within the hearts of those who dared hope. And as the days turned to months, the spell began to weaken, the bond of silence, the cage that held her brothers as ravens, started to crack. For love, true love, had begun to break the chains that fear and magic had forged. The princess's heart beat steady, filled with the promise that soon, very soon, the curse would shatter and all would be made right again. They sat together, silent as the night, their hearts swelling with hope and fear. The tiny breaths of the newborn stirred gently against the quiet, a fragile promise in the shadow of grief. The princess watched over him, her eyes heavy but determined, holding tight to the fragile thread of hope that maybe this child would not be lost to the dark curse that had stolen so much from her. Days turned into weeks, and still the whispers lingered in the castle halls, questions wrapped in suspicion, eyes darting in doubt. "Who loses children and does not cry out?" they murmured. The princess, bound by her vow, could only stare in mute sorrow, her silence a fortress against the harshness of their judgments. But love, even in silence, spoke louder than words. Each tender touch, each soft glance between mother and son, wove an unspoken bond stronger than any spell. And as the seasons shifted, a faint glimmer of magic began to stir, an ancient promise that even the darkest curses could be broken by courage, love, and sacrifice. Yet the witch watched from her tower, her cruel smile never fading, her dark heart scheming ever more wicked plans. For power was a hunger that would not be sated, and the princess and her family stood as the final obstacles between the witch and her throne. What fate awaited the princess, her children, and the kingdom? Only time would tell if the threads of silence and love could weave a new destiny, or if the witch's shadow would swallow them whole. The nights grew colder, and the castle seemed to hold its breath. The princess, still silent, walked the halls with the weight of her vow pressing down on her like stone. Her children slept close, but the shadow of the witch crept ever closer. One evening, as a silver mist rolled through the garden, the princess felt a strange pull, a whisper from the ravens above. They circled once more, their wings casting eerie shadows on the ancient walls. She knew the time was near. The ravens came to her side, their eyes gleaming with urgency. Though she could not speak, her heart understood their silent plea. The spell could be broken, but only through sacrifice and trust. Meanwhile, the witch, sensing the shift, unleashed her darkest magic. Storm clouds gathered, thunder rattled the windows, and the castle trembled beneath the weight of her fury. She sent shadows to snatch the children in the dead of night, desperate to keep the princess bound by silence and sorrow. But the prince, brave and unwavering, stood guard. Though unaware of the full extent of the curse, his love for the princess fueled his courage. Together, they prepared to face the witch's wrath, ready to fight not with words, but with the strength of their hearts. As dawn broke, the kingdom held its breath, waiting for the final act in a tale spun with love, loss, and dark enchantments. The child's fingers were like stars, delicate and shining, and the mother prayed with all her heart. The father prayed too, but the strain and exhaustion of the birth washed over them like huge waves, pulling them into sleep. 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3. They slept deeply, but then the prince awoke in horror. Oh no, what have you done? What's happening? He cried. It's horrible, whispered the mother in her silent tears. She's a witch. My poor babies, my poor sons, the prince wailed. She must be burned as a witch tomorrow. Tomorrow, she must be burned. So it was decreed that, exactly 3 years, 3 months, 3 weeks, and 3 days after the princess had taken her vow of silence, the innocent girl would be burned at the stake as a witch. Why didn't she speak? Could she speak now? No, not yet, not until midday. As they prepared the bonfire, the sundial in the courtyard was still far from noon. The princess was tied to the stake. The witch herself, smiling darkly, lit the torch and stepped forward toward the hay and twigs. But then, 3 ravens swooped down, diving and crashing at the witch. She screamed, dropped the torch, and in a flash was nothing but dust and ashes. Brothers! My brothers! The princess cried. Her 3 brothers, freed from their spell, rushed to pull her from the stake, hugging and kissing her fiercely. Now she could not speak, not from silence, but from tears. And there was more, for now all was restored. The princess who kept faith and had but one true face for everyone was rewarded, sons, brothers, a sweetheart, and a crown. She practiced her smile until it was perfect. Well, I thought the babies had been killed, the prince said. No, the princess answered silently. The witch had cast them down a well, but the ravens knew, caught them, and cared for them. And so they lived happily. But it wasn't exactly 3 years, 3 months, 3 weeks, and 3 days, was it? The prince teased. No, clever clogs, she smiled. I spoke 3 minutes too soon, and because of that, my youngest brother keeps one wing forever. But he doesn't mind, the prince said softly. And neither do I. And nor should you, my dear. Thus ends the tale of the 3 ravens. When people told themselves their past with stories, explained their present with stories, and foretold the future with stories, the best place by the fire was kept for the storyteller. Now, imagine a cold, dark night, just like this one. A farmer and his wife are fast asleep, snuggling for warmth in a simple bed. The farmer shivers and reaches out for his wife, but instead of a head, he finds a foot. Why? Because his missus is rubbing noses with their dog, who sleeps every night at the foot of the bed. What kind of dog, you ask? I don't know, a dog. Some kind of dog. Terrific story, says the farmer. Should I bark? Oh no, the wife replies. Just for tonight. Don't be dense, woman. 1 night won't hurt. Might even work, sleeping upside down. What good's that going to do? The farmer asks. The midwife had said, sometimes. The midwife had said, sometimes, doing the unexpected is just what's needed to change the course of things. So the farmer, curious and half amused, turned upside down in the bed, his head where his feet usually were. The dog glanced up, wagged its tail, and settled back down. That night, the farmer dreamed a strange dream, a dream of whispers and shadows, of secrets hidden beneath the earth, and a small glowing light that seemed to dance just out of reach. When he woke, something felt different. The chill in the air had lifted, and even the dog seemed more alert, as if it knew something the farmer did not. Outside, the wind whispered through the trees, carrying with it a faint, sweet scent, like honey and wildflowers. The farmer looked at his wife and smiled. Maybe the midwife was right. As the days passed, strange but wonderful things began to happen around the farm. The crops grew taller and greener than ever before. The animals seemed happier, their eyes bright and full of life. And every night, by the fire, the farmer and his wife told stories, stories of magic, of old spells, and of a love strong enough to change fate. One evening, as the stars sparkled overhead, a knock came at the door. The farmer opened it to find a traveler, cloaked and hooded, carrying a small wooden box. "I bring a gift," the traveler said softly. "A secret, and a promise." The farmer took the box carefully. Inside was a small, shining stone that glowed with a gentle warmth. "Keep this safe," said the traveler. "It will guide you when the darkness comes. But beware, only the pure of heart can see its light." And with that, the traveler vanished into the night, leaving behind the scent of honey and wildflowers. The farmer and his wife held the stone close and knew their lives were about to change forever. Days turned into weeks, and the glowing stone sat on the farmhouse windowsill, casting soft pools of light in the quiet evenings. The farmer often found himself drawn to it, feeling a strange calm wash over him whenever he touched its smooth surface. One dusk, as the sun melted into the horizon and painted the sky in shades of amber and violet, the stone began to pulse gently, like a heartbeat. Startled but curious, the farmer picked it up and followed the faint glow as it flickered toward the edge of the forest. His wife, seeing his intent, grabbed a lantern and followed closely behind. They stepped into the woods, the soft crunch of leaves underfoot the only sound besides the rhythmic pulse from the stone. The deeper they walked, the more the forest seemed to come alive. Fireflies danced in spirals around them, and the trees whispered ancient secrets carried on the wind. After what felt like hours, they reached a small clearing bathed in silver moonlight. In the center stood a magnificent tree, its trunk wide and gnarled, branches stretching high into the night sky. Nestled among its roots was a small door, carved with symbols that shimmered faintly in the moonlight. The stone's light flared warmly, and the farmer felt a surge of courage. He reached out, touched the door, and it swung open silently, revealing a spiral staircase leading down into the earth. "Shall we?" his wife whispered. Hand in hand, they descended, the glowing stone lighting their path into the mysteries below. The staircase spiraled downwards, each step smooth and cool beneath their feet. The glow from the stone grew brighter, filling the narrow passage with a soft, golden light that chased away the shadows. At the bottom, the stairs opened into a cavernous chamber carved from ancient rock. The walls shimmered with veins of crystal that caught the stone's glow, reflecting it in dazzling patterns. In the center of the chamber stood an altar made of white marble, upon which rested a small wooden box etched with the same mysterious symbols as the door above. The farmer stepped forward cautiously and lifted the box's lid. Inside lay a delicate, folded parchment and a small key, both glowing faintly. He unfolded the parchment and began to read. "To those who find this place, know that you stand at the heart of the forest's magic. The key you hold will unlock the secret that has been hidden for generations, a secret that binds the past, present, and future. Use it wisely, and you will restore balance. Use it poorly, and the darkness will consume all." Suddenly, the stone in the farmer's hand pulsed violently, and the cavern trembled. From the shadows, a soft voice whispered, "Choose your path carefully, for the forest watches, and time is not what it seems." The farmer and his wife exchanged a glance, the weight of the decision settling heavy in their hearts. Would they dare to unlock the secret, and what would be waiting beyond? The farmer took a deep breath, gripping the small key tightly in his hand. His wife stepped closer, her eyes steady and calm despite the trembling of the cavern walls. Together, they approached a massive stone door at the far end of the chamber. The door was covered in intricate carvings, trees with twisting roots and branches, animals hidden among leaves, and faces watching from the shadows. With a steady hand, the farmer inserted the key into the ancient lock. It fit perfectly. A low rumble echoed as the door slowly swung open, revealing a passage bathed in soft, ethereal light. Beyond the door, the couple saw a garden unlike any they had ever known. Flowers bloomed with colors that shimmered and changed, streams of water flowed gently, and the air hummed with a sweet, magical energy. But in the center of the garden stood a figure cloaked in shadows, its eyes glowing softly as it beckoned them forward. "Welcome," the voice said. "You have been chosen to protect the balance of the forest. Will you accept this responsibility, or turn away and let the darkness consume all?" The farmer and his wife looked at one another, knowing this was their moment of truth. The farmer swallowed hard but nodded firmly. His wife squeezed his hand, her gaze unwavering. "We accept," she said softly, stepping forward. The shadowed figure smiled, the glow in its eyes brightening like twin stars. "Then listen well, for this path is not easy." With a wave of its hand, the garden transformed. The flowers faded, the streams stilled, and the light dimmed into a twilight glow. Around them, ancient trees grew tall and imposing, their branches whispering secrets carried on the wind. "You will be guardians of this realm," the figure continued. "A place where nature's magic thrives, yet darkness seeks to corrupt. You must protect it from those who would exploit or destroy." The farmer felt a weight settle on his shoulders, a mix of fear and determination. The wife nodded, feeling the same fierce resolve. "Together, you will learn the language of the trees, the songs of the wind, and the mysteries of the earth. Only then can you stand against the shadows that encroach." Suddenly, the ground beneath them glowed, and two amulets rose gently from the soil, floating before them. "These are your bonds to the forest," the figure said. "Wear them always." The farmer and his wife each took an amulet, feeling warmth spread through their bodies. The forest seemed to pulse with life around them, alive, watching, waiting. "You have chosen well," the figure said. "Now begins your true journey." The farmer's wife was desperate. "If you want company, bring me a widow woman from the village," she said. "Come up this end, I'm proper frozen." But the farmer's wife didn't want just any company. She wanted a child. A baby. She'd longed for one for what felt like forever, until watching lambs being born, calves taking their first steps, and eggs hatching became unbearable. The pain of not having her own child ate at her heart. She drove the farmer mad with her constant cranky spells and strange remedies. "I'm making you a tonic, a nice one," she promised. "To be drunk morning and night." "I want a baby," she said. "I don't care if it's a strange thing, made of marzipan or porridge, ugly as a hedgehog. I want a baby to wrap in a bundle, to sing to cuddle and love." When you want something that badly, it's dangerous to say you wouldn't care what you got. And so, she got her wish. The farmer's wife's belly swelled. She blamed the baths he took, or sleeping upside down, but really, it was that wish, that careless prayer. And when the baby was born, there he was, a little ball, ugly as sin, with a pointed nose and wild sprout-like hair. Hedgehogs don't have hair, they have quills, but this baby's quills were soft as feathers. And his mother held him tight, wrapped him in a bundle, and yes, she loved him. But not everyone else did. "Ah, a laughing stock," they jeered. "Get out of here. What are you doing? What about your chores? End of parading yourself in public. Don't cry, my sweet. Don't even cry like that. The farmer grew to hate his son, the hedgehog boy. Out in the fields, the boy chopped and stacked wood, milked the cows, but the shame twisted in the farmer's heart like a knot, sometimes bursting into rage, sometimes into tears that splashed down his boots. Time passed. Day followed day, week after week. The hedgehog boy grew up. Hey, beastie, they called. You, hedgehog. He learned he was strange. He learned he was ugly. He learned to be sad. And he learned the name they gave him, Buff Hall. That's enough, they shouted. Out. Out. From now on, live with the beasts. Hans, come home. Hans heard the calls but didn't answer. He lay awake all night, with only the rooster for company. He thought and thought until he thought himself a hole in the ground. His mother couldn't sleep. His father wandered the dark hours, a great needle piercing his heart. And in the morning, weary and broken, the farmer returned to the steps. The steps of the farm, shoulders heavy with regret. He knew things couldn't go on like this, but what could he do? How could he fix what fate had twisted? Meanwhile, Hans, the hedgehog boy, wandered farther from home each day, hiding in the woods, among the animals that didn't care about his prickly quills or his strange appearance. He listened to the whispers of the trees and dreamed of a place where he could belong. One evening, as the sun dipped low and painted the sky with orange and purple, Hans stumbled upon an old, crooked woman by a bubbling brook. Her eyes twinkled with something mysterious, and she smiled knowingly. "You look lost, child," she said, her voice soft like the rustling leaves. "I am," Hans admitted, "and I don't belong anywhere." The woman nodded. "Sometimes, what makes us different is our greatest gift. But you must believe in it yourself." She handed him a small, woven pouch. "Keep this close. It will protect you, and show you the way." Hans clutched the pouch tightly and felt a warm glow spread through his chest. For the first time, hope stirred inside him. Back at the farm, the farmer and his wife watched the seasons change, hearts heavy but slowly softening. They began to remember the boy they had loved before the world taught them shame. And far away, Hans, the hedgehog boy, set off on a journey, not just to find a place where he belonged, but to discover who he truly was. And so the gravel hog waited patiently, asking his father for a saddle to ride his rooster, and for some sheep, hens, and pigs to take with him on his journey, a journey to a place where he could hurt no one and no one could hurt him. The farmer, moved by his son's quiet strength, prepared the saddle and gathered the animals, watching his son depart with a softened heart. His mother's heart, once cracked, grew heavier until she passed, but her love never faded. Years later, a lost king wandered through a great forest, drawn by a strange and bittersweet song, a song that began like hello and ended like goodbye. Following the melody, he found the most extraordinary palace, where he was welcomed by the gravel hog, who treated him with kindness and played old tunes on his bagpipes. The king awoke the next day, no longer lost, and danced with joy for he had been found. But the story was far from over. The king made a promise to the gravel hog, a promise that would lead to a royal wedding filled with magic, secrets, and love that could break any spell. Dear listener, stories like these remind us that love, patience, and promises can heal even the deepest wounds. If you enjoyed this tale, please like, share, and subscribe to support more enchanting stories. And to you, dear listener, thank you so much for watching and being part of this journey. Until next time, keep your heart open and your imagination alive.